Chukma, Sochafoot John Harrington, Chikasha Seya. Hello, my name is John Harrington. I'm a citizen of the Chickasaw Nation, and it's an honor and privilege to be here today and see so many wonderful smiling faces, Native faces here on the mall. So thank you so much for being here at the dedication of the Native Americans Veterans Memorial here in Washington, D.C. As we begin the ceremony, we humbly behold and acknowledge the Eagle staff placed here on the stage, representing the first flag of America from the Western River Sioux tribes, which are the Cheyenne River, Pine Ridge, and Rosebud nations. Okay. This Eagle staff is held in the collection of the National Museum of the American Indian. It is a sacred symbol that represents a legacy and tradition of the warrior code, which bestows honor to those who carry it and those who share its sense of duty and protection. We would like to thank all Native American, Alaska Native, and Native Hawaiian veterans for being in attendance today and processing. As fellow veterans, I know I speak on behalf of us all when I say we are proud to be with you today, to recognize together that this memorial stands as a powerful reminder of the service and sacrifices of those remembered, all who are here today, and those watching from home. Bless. Hey.
O-C-O! O-C-O, iti-ja lagi ele iti-ya-wi-ya-e. Ali-he-li-stika nigal-stanas ko-higa ja-gas ale igali-he-li-tanaji de-ha. West-studi dagwadon. West-studi dagwadon. Digi-lo-san-ke-ha. I am from northeastern Oklahoma, which is actually Cherokee Nation West. Thank you. I am also a graduate of Chilocco Indian Agricultural School. Yeah, they were always hanging around in the back like that anyway. Oh, yes. I am also a graduate of the 9th Division Alpha Company, 3rd of the 39th Infantry, ETS in 1969. Enough about me. Let's talk about you. Now, a Native American on any battlefield is a formidable force to be reckoned with, and one such incident validates that statement was when West Point fought against the Carlisle Indian Industrial School, the football team of 1912. Now, this historical rivalry pitted a 22-year-old linebacker named Dwight D. Eisenhower. He was the 34th president of the United States. Now, pitted against the real all-American team that was led by Jim Thorpe. Yes. And years later, after that game, Eisenhower, he said, and I quote, "Here and there are some people who are supremely talented." My memory goes back to Jim Thorpe. He said he never practiced in his life, and he could do anything better than any other football player I ever saw. And Jim said, "Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you very much." And went on about his business. Now, we have survived and endeavored against insurmountable odds, there's no doubt about it. So now I ask you to please stand as you are able, weather permitting, and remove your hats for the presentation of the colors, and remain standing, please, for the singing of the national anthem performed by Charlie Lowry, Lumby, and Tuscarora, and Alexis Rayana Lumby.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you very much. Please take your seats. Thank you to the U.S. Military District of Washington Joint Color Guard for the presentation of the colors, and to Charlie Lowry and Alexis Reyna for the national anthem.
Was that not beautiful harmony? Beautiful. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Robert Short of the Kiowa. Of the Kiowa tribe. And he's a Vietnam veteran, war veteran. He's here to deliver our invocation.
A cô bị đỏ cha bé hà a ho đỏ ki đỏ cái trai cái oh boy cái on tom top on ma. Father in heaven, this is the day the Lord hath made. Let us all rejoice and be glad. Father, we ask you to bless this sacred circle of honor. May it be a place of healing and spirituality for my red brothers and sisters and the generations that follow in their footprints. Bless my red brothers and sisters that have journeyed from the four directions to witness this historical event. I ask a special blessing on my Marine brother, Harvey Pratt, for his vision and inspiration that was given to him by the Creator in the design of this sacred memorial. Bless all Native American veterans with longevity of life. Father, make their road easy in the days ahead. May their spirit be that of peace. Father, may the untold stories of our ancestors never be forgotten. The ones who gave the supreme sacrifice, the ones who returned home with the horrors of war embedded in their minds and souls. May this sacred place bring peace, tranquility, and healing to all that come. Eternal Father, how humble and grateful we are that this National Day of Recognition has finally come full circle to honor our Native American warriors, past and present. Prayers for all our comrades that were not in formation this morning, that fought alongside us, who have gone home to rest in eternal peace. I pray for everlasting patriotism, love of country, and the willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. May the plight of the Red Warrior be told to all mankind in our American history. We give praise and honor for all our men and women veterans who served honorably this Veterans Day. Keep us steadfast in step with you, Father, in our daily walk. Let our obedience be strong and brave. We ask for travel mercy back to our homelands, homes, and families. May we find them as we left them. All this we ask in your precious Son, Jesus' holy name. Amen and amen.
And it's now my honor to introduce Dr. Cynthia Chavez Lamar, Director of the National Museum of the American Indian, San Felipe Pueblo, Hopi, Tewa, and Navajo nations.
Wow. Guatsi, Opa. Greetings and welcome to the dedication of the National Native American Veterans Memorial. What an incredible moment this is to be gathered with all of you today. It brings me such great joy, and it really fills my heart to see so many Native veterans from across the country. We are honored to be with you today. To each American Indian, Alaska Native, and Native Hawaiian veteran in attendance, and all who are joining us via live stream, I want to share my deep gratitude for your service and sacrifice. Nitra, thank you, thank you. To all the families and communities who throughout the years supported your loved ones in their service and welcomed them back home with honor and healing. Nitra, thank you. And to those of you who lost loved ones, who served with honor, thank you for your ultimate sacrifice. Today, we mark a major milestone for our country, the Smithsonian, and Native people, as we dedicate the National Native American Veterans Memorial. The museum is proud to be the home of the memorial and will carry out our responsibility to forever welcome and honor veterans and educate people about the extraordinary military service of Native veterans and active duty service members. We begin this today by hosting this long overdue dedication ceremony to pay tribute to Native people who have served and are serving our country. The memorial was the result of much discussion and consultation with Native peoples, particularly veterans and their families, which is how it should be. The museum has my predecessor, Kevin Gover, who is sitting right here in the front row, to thank for helping the museum realize the memorial and ensuring we spoke with Native veterans, their family members, active duty service members, and tribal leaders from 16 states and the District of Columbia. Overall, the museum met with 1,200 people to gather their recommendations. They conveyed what values the memorial must embody: responsibility to protect life, acknowledgement of sacrifice, and reflection of Native spirituality. The museum held a nationwide competition for the memorial's design and selected Harvey Pratt's beautiful design. As you will see, the circle is a prominent design element of the memorial, representing cycles of time and life, as well as unity. Now, we come together in unity to witness the dedication of the National Native American Veterans Memorial. There are honored speakers present today to share their words of gratitude and recognition with all the veterans in attendance and around the country. The museum is pleased to have with us members of Congress, including Representative Sharice Davis and Senator Dan Sullivan. We also have with us the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Dennis McDonough, members of the National Museum of the American Indian Board of Trustees, members of the National Native American Veterans Memorial Advisory Committee, and leadership from tribes and nations across the country. All have provided their support in making the memorial a reality. The museum gratefully acknowledges the sponsors, Native nations and tribes, individuals, and organizations for their generosity and commitment to this initiative. It's a great day. It's a historic day. Nitra, thank you for being present on this momentous occasion. I really look forward to continuing the celebration with all of you today and throughout the weekend as we honor American Indian, Alaska Native, and American Native Hawaiian veterans who have given so much to this country. Nitra, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. What a crucially important day for the country, for the world, for the Smithsonian. And I want to tell you how honored I am to represent the Smithsonian, to extend, first of all, my personal thanks to all who worked so hard for this day to come. I'm so touched by the leadership of people like Kevin Gover from the National League of the American Indian and also from the National Native American Veterans Memorial Advisory Committee. Did so much work to help us get to this day. But what I'm really proud about, this is the first memorial ever done on Smithsonian land. And for me, there's nothing more important than this being the very first one. Because what you hope is that from today on, in the months and years and decades to come, it's my hope that this memorial will provide a respite for Native veterans and their families to reflect on their service, for loved ones of soldiers who never returned to honor their memory, and for Indigenous people to gather, to remember, to heal. But it is also my hope that this memorial will inspire learning among those who don't know the history of Indigenous people in the military service. I hope that upon seeing this beautiful structure and visiting the museum, generations of people from all cultural backgrounds will come to know that Indigenous men and women served in the United States military at a rate far above the national average. It is my hope that they recognize the significance of the fact that Native people fought for this country, a country, candidly, that occupied their homelands, disrespected their tribal sovereignty, and confined their people to reservations. Yet they fought in every major conflict for the last 2 centuries. To give you an idea of what that really means, it's the fact that more Native people felt that it was crucially important to defend a country that was their country, even when that country didn't accept them as equals. Whatever the reason, whether it was patriotism, duty of tribe over country, or opportunities the services provided, fighting abroad for a country, one still must also continue to fight at home. And to do that, it requires hope. Hope that America might one day return the respect that Native peoples have shown this country, their country, time and time and time again. We owe an amazing debt of gratitude for that resiliency and that hope. While Native people served in the United States military in every capacity, as soldiers, nurses, factory workers supporting war efforts at home, their unique contribution was as intelligent communicators. In both world wars, Native American language tangibly helped the U.S. to victory. These were the same native tongues that the United States government attempted to eradicate in boarding schools, designed to forcibly assimilate Native children in American culture. And yet, members of more than 30 Native nations served as what is known, would now become the Code Talkers, who translated encrypted messages from their native tongues on the front lines. I am really struck by the fact that the Navajo Code and others remain the only oral military codes never broken. That tells you something. This memorial is a fitting tribute to Native people's ability to simultaneously serve and honor their country and their tribes, despite historic government insistence that the two could not coexist. It's a reminder to me that there is nothing more patriotic than a resilient love and respect for a country that has not always loved and respected them in return. And that notion, that idea of saying we can love a country and make it better despite the history is really something worth fighting for, and it's something that we've learned from all our Native veterans. So all I can tell you is thank you for your service, thank you for being here. The Smithsonian is unbelievably humbled and honored to celebrate this day with you. Thank you very much.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you to so many who put this wonderful event together. What a day, what a day. Now, yes, it was raining a bit, but as we say in the Marines, if it ain't raining, we ain't training. And you may have seen, I hope you saw it, that beautiful rainbow that just lit over the Capitol. The good Lord is smiling upon America's first peoples right now, I'll tell you that. Seriously, I think we will all remember this event for the rest of our lives. I know I certainly will. I really want to applaud the director of this museum, Cynthia Chavez Lamar, and her staff, the Board of Trustees, and the very talented artists who designed this incredible memorial, Vietnam veteran Harvey Pratt. How about another round of applause for him? I also want to thank Cynthia and Danielle Lote for attending the Alaska Federation of Natives conference in Anchorage just last month. It meant so much to the people of Alaska, and it is also great on this very special day, Veterans Day, to have the Secretary of the VA here, Dennis McDonough. Mr. Secretary, thank you for your service, sir. Finally, I want to recognize my wonderful wife, Julie, a member of the Board of Trustees of the National Museum of the American Indian, and of course, all our fellow Alaskans who flew thousands of miles to be with everybody here today. This memorial is about honoring special patriotism. Special patriotism. It's a term I use a lot in Alaska when talking about our Alaska Native veterans. Like Native Americans across our country, Alaska Natives serve in the U.S. military at higher rates than any other ethnic group in America. That is special patriotism. And it is impressive in and of itself. But as the Secretary just mentioned, think about the context during which Native Americans and Alaska Native people have served our great nation. For decade after decade, really for centuries, the U.S. government did not always treat Native Americans with the respect and equality that they deserved. Suffice to say, given this history, it would have been normal, even rational, that when called upon to serve in the military and fight and die for America, the reaction of Native Americans over the decades might have been, no thanks. But that wasn't the reaction. To the contrary, it was the opposite. The special patriotism of Native Americans has shown through, providing an inspiring example for all Americans, serving in huge numbers in our military, generation after generation, with humility and dignity and honor, and of course, with heroism. These are, right here, we're seeing so many, what I like to call back home in Alaska, the heroes among us. And I want to recognize these heroes again. So if you are a veteran or a family member of a veteran, please stand or raise your hand and be recognized. How about a round of applause? This is amazing. Unfortunately, too few of our fellow Americans know about this special patriotism and the tremendous record of service, in part because so many of our Native Americans come from a culture of humility. But every now and then, the righteous spirit and pride in this remarkable record of military service shines through. I never tire of telling the story of one proud Alaska Native, channeling the frustration of so many fellow veterans when he testified at a U.S. Senate field hearing in Anchorage in 1968 on the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act, the largest native land claims in history. In his testimony, he educated members of the U.S. Senate about the Alaska Native and Native American tradition of military service at a time during the height of the Vietnam War, when many Americans were actually avoiding service in the military. Here's what he said to the senators in that field hearing in Alaska in 1968. Quote, "We have showed our patriotism as proudly as any Americans on earth. We have answered the call of duty with pride in serving our country. We answered the call in World War II 100%. Every man in every village, old and young, volunteered with the Alaska National Guard. I have never heard of an Alaska Native burning the draft card or burning the flag of our country. We love our country and our lands, and we will fight and sacrifice to protect them." Now, after that statement, with the determination of a tough Marine, which this individual was, and the recognition of the moral high ground Alaska Native military service brought to him and his people, he concluded his testimony before these senators with this statement, quote, "Sometimes I think the wrong people are running this hearing and taking our testimony. It seems that we should be the ones on the bench, and you should be the ones in front of us giving us testimony." I love that. His testimony was said to have brought tears to the eyes of everybody in the audience listening. So today, here at the National Museum of the American Indian, the right people are running this ceremony, and the right people are being recognized with this beautiful, powerful, well-deserved memorial. To all the veterans here and their families, thank you for your service. And to our Native American veterans, thank you for your special patriotism. God bless all of you and our great nation. Semper Fi.
I like that music they're playing on my walk-up song. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sharice Davids. I represent Kansas's 3rd Congressional District. I am Ho-Chunk, and I am the proud daughter of Crystal Harridge, who is a veteran, and my grandparents are Ruth Stacy and Lawrence Little George. I have a whole set of remarks, but I do want to start off by acknowledging that during the invocation, while Mr. Short was blessing all of us, the Creator blessed us with a rainbow above the Capitol. And I think that's really fitting because it's such an honor today to celebrate our veterans from all of our indigenous Native communities in this country. Thank you for your service. Thank you to your families. Thank you to the tribal nations that have supported you. And I just appreciate you so much for protecting our freedoms and enabling someone like me to be able to run for Congress and sit in Congress now. I will say my mom is here with us today. She served 20 years in the Army, part of that time. Woo! Part of that time she was a drill sergeant. Don't worry, I've got the push-ups to prove it. My mom would often joke when I was growing up that she joined the Army and thought that she would see the world, but we mostly saw Kansas and Missouri, which is how a Ho-Chunk ends up in Kansas. But joking aside, I learned so much from my mom's service. I learned about what it means to serve your country. I learned about what it means to sacrifice for your country and your community. I learned what it means to be dedicated and have a purpose because of her. And that is absolutely a lesson I have brought with me to Congress. I know that because of everything our service members, our veterans, those who have walked on have done, we have got to have your back in Congress. And I will work every single day to make sure that that's true. And that's because our veterans and service members deserve nothing less than quality health care, access to services, access to education and jobs that absolutely have been earned. And that, of course, includes our Native veterans. You know, Native men and women have served in every major military conflict since the Revolutionary War, and often at a higher rate than any other group in this country. And I know we've heard that already, but it is something that should be repeated over and over so that folks know. And while many Native veterans and current service members serve at those higher numbers, I know I often get asked, why choose to serve a country that has mistreated tribes for generations? And we've heard it already. It's because they choose patriotism. It's because they choose love of this country and these lands. It's because they choose to imagine a better future for their families and their community, to fight, to secure the homelands and our freedoms. And I have so much respect for our Native men and women who have made that choice. And I'm doing everything I can to support all of you in that. And as one of the first 2 Native women ever elected to Congress, it's also my job, I believe, to ensure that American Indians, Alaska Natives, Indigenous folks, Native Hawaiians have a voice at the table when we're making policy in the Capitol. And I also have to say, I am so excited that even just in this last couple of months, I've had the opportunity to serve alongside our first Alaska Native congressperson, Mary Peltola. And I'm looking forward to continuing that work with her. But I definitely wouldn't have the opportunity to do that were it not for the sacrifices of our ancestors. If it weren't for the sacrifices of all the Native folks who have served our country in one way or another, including my mom and my grandfather. And, you know, this memorial was commissioned almost 20 years ago. The National Native American Veterans Memorial is a tribute to our Native warriors and recognizes the distinguished service of Native Americans in every branch of the U.S. military. And I was absolutely honored to get the chance to serve on the Congressional Committee for the memorial and celebrate its opening in 2020. And I'm absolutely honored to get the chance to share some time with you today to recognize all the Native heroes who are here with us now and all the Native heroes who have walked on. And for the veterans and active duty service members in the audience and your families, once again, I just want to say thank you so much. Your countless contributions and accomplishments are so inspiring, and we will absolutely make sure that that is never forgotten and that people remember that we're still here. Thank you.
Let's hear it for our Congresswoman. And thank you to Secretary Lonnie Bunch, Senator Sullivan, and of course, Congresswoman Davids. Now, please welcome Ralph Zotai and Dennis Zotai from the Kiowa tribe. Isanti Dakota, and Okewinge. Okewinge de Pueblo. Today, they will sing an honor song for female veterans, Gold Star Mothers, and American War Mothers organizations. Please stand if you're able, and please remove your hats.
Greetings, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm honored to join you on the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Anacostan and Piscataway people. Indeed, all of this country is tribal land where we live and work, and where today we dedicate this enduring memorial. I want to say how proud I am to be here with so many veterans, tribal leaders, tribal elders, to dedicate the National Native American Veterans Memorial. I'm also humbled to join Senator and Julie Sullivan and Congresswoman Davids and her mom, who personify in their family stories service to this country. It's fitting that we're here on Veterans Day because this day, like this memorial, honors the Native vets who put their lives on the line for us, for this country. With all our imperfections, so that our highest ideals and core values might continue. It is an extraordinary act to put on the uniform of our nation, leave the safety of home, your loved ones, deploy to a war zone in a foreign land, fight for the freedom of others, sometimes, by the way, freedoms that many Native vets did not themselves enjoy. But it's something that so many Native veterans have done throughout the years. Alaskan Natives, Native Hawaiians, across conflicts and across the world. That's why this day, that's what this day honors. That's what this memorial will in perpetuity honor. Their service, their stories, their sacrifice, their, as Senator Sullivan said, heroism. Nobody exemplifies service, sacrifice, and heroism better than PFC Charles George, a member of the Cherokee Nation and Bird Clan, who joined the Army when he was just 18 and volunteered to serve in combat in Korea. On the night of November 29th, 1952, PFC George and his unit launched an attack on Chinese ships north of Seoul. After a brutal hand-to-hand fight, the mission was successful, and the danger had seemingly passed. But then, an enemy grenade landed in PFC George's trench. He didn't think. He didn't hesitate. He threw his battle buddy to safety. Then he threw himself on the grenade to save the lives of his two friends. He died that night, 20 years old. Now, we'll never know what went through the mind of PFC George that night. But that service, that sacrifice, that heroism, that courage, that's what this memorial captures. It's what this memorial remembers. And it's that dedication to service that has been shared by Native vets of every generation. Vets like 98-year-old Charles Norman Shea, Penobscot tribal elder, and who served as a medic during World War II and Korea. One of the first people to land on the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. Vets like Galen Minkle, a member of the Lower Sioux Indian community, who served as an air traffic controller during Operation Iraqi Freedom. Or vets like Micheline Bigman, a member of the Crow Nation, who founded the Native American Women Warriors, whom we just honored in that beautiful song, the first all-female Native color guard. The list goes on and on. Throughout history, Native vets like them, Native vets like you, have done so much for us. Your honorable service in uniform has set the example for the rest of us. In so many ways, you're the keepers of our national ethos. That deep and abiding sense of purpose you learned in serving. Your sense of teamwork that made you stronger together in combat and in your community. A sense of shared destiny that's so unique today. And looking around, that's exactly what we all need today more than ever. Camaraderie, truth, togetherness, true service, true patriotism. And it's something that all of us, that each of us, learns from you. Simply put, through your service and your selflessness, oftentimes, as each speaker has now said, at a time when it was not returned, in that you teach us. You remind us what it truly means to be American. And for that, and so much else, we are forever in your debt. This day reminds us of that. This memorial commemorates that. So I want to thank the Smithsonian Institute, the National Museum of the American Indian, and Vietnam vet Harvey Pratt, who designed this memorial so beautifully and so meaningfully, as only a vet could. Most of all, I want to thank the Native veterans who are here today and those who aren't, for your service and for all you've done for us. This day is your day. this memorial is your memorial. And it is an honor, a true honor, to honor you. God bless you all. God bless the United States. Thank you very much.
So I want to thank Secretary McDonough. And now we invite the board chair of the National Museum of the American Indian, Kathy Hopinka Hannon, to read a statement by Department of the Interior Secretary Deb Haaland.
Thank you, Wesley. Ha-ho, and good afternoon, everyone. I am so incredibly proud to serve as the chair of this great institution with so many other wonderful board members. And during my time as chair, to be able to witness the building of this incredible memorial, and more importantly, to see many individuals, communities, and veterans coming together for this purpose was truly inspiring. And it represents everything that we do at the museum to engage and serve our Native peoples. And there's one individual who has been a staunch supporter of this project, and that is Secretary of the Interior, Deb Haaland. And unfortunately, her duties would not allow her to be with us today, but she asked me to read a letter to all of you. I am thrilled to celebrate the dedication of the National Veterans Memorial with all of you. Though I cannot join you in person, please know that my heart is with all of you on this joyous occasion. Just 2 short years ago, I was so pleased to join the groundbreaking of this important memorial. The sun was beaming as our shovels dug into the earth, and we honored the Native veterans who fought to defend our homeland. On that day, I thought of my dad, who served as a 30-year combat Marine and was awarded the Silver Star Medal for bravely saving 6 lives during Vietnam. I also thought of my mom, who proudly served in the Navy, as did other members of my extended family. Every Indigenous person in this country has a profound connection to this land. We feel a deep obligation to future generations. For most of us, this is the only home we have ever known. This connection can explain why Native people have served in our nation's military at such high rates. And yet, Native veterans and their contributions to our armed forces have often gone unrecognized throughout our history. This memorial changes that. It gives visitors a solemn place to honor our warriors and their sacrifices, including those who never made it home, and those who continue to serve today. The military service of Native veterans has made our country what it is and makes us all proud to be Americans. I thank everyone from the bottom of my heart who has been involved in moving this project forward in our nation's capital, and to all of those who will continue to make this memorial a tribute so that future generations will always know the sacrifices of our veterans. These are truly moving words, and I could not agree more with our secretary. So thank you all again. Pana Gigi, enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank Chairperson Hannah for those kind remarks from Secretary Haaland. The first time I ever spoke as an astronaut was to a group of Native American writers and storytellers. And NASA wrote a speech for me. And so I read the speech, and every time I looked up from the speech, a gentleman in the back kept going like this. And I would read my speech, and I'd look up, he'd do this. It's like, what's this? He says, speak from the heart. You know what's on the paper. Tell us from the heart. And so I've been very fortunate. The next two folks I get to introduce, this is coming totally from the heart. Very fortunate they get to introduce a fellow citizen of the Chickasaw Nation, Lieutenant Governor Emeritus Jefferson Keel, 3-time president of the Congress of American Indians, a very dear friend of mine. So Lieutenant Governor Emeritus Jefferson Keel.
Ma, I am so honored to be here today. It's always just a pleasure and a distinct honor for me to speak to veterans. My fellow veterans, thank you for being here. This is a day that we've worked hard for the last 7 years to be able to get to. I was honored in 2015 to be asked to serve as a co-chair of an advisory committee. At that time, I didn't know what it really meant. I just knew that it was important. And as I spoke with the other co-chair, Senator Ben Nighthorse Campbell, it became clear that our mission was to go and help get the funding to make this day happen. You know, Congress passed the law that says we could build this memorial, but they didn't pass the law that said they would fund it. So our job was to visit with, at that time, the director of the museum, Kevin Gover. Kevin sat us down and talked to us and gave us very detailed information about what we were supposed to do. It was, we got to go raise some money. I was honored to be able to travel across the country with Kevin, a lady named Elaine Webster, Senator Campbell, and others to go to every region of the country and talk to tribes about the importance of this. Most of those tribes had very little, they didn't take any convincing. Most of them were already ready to get this done. The biggest problem that we had was people didn't know what it really meant. There were conflicting stories. So we went to each tribal region and spoke to tribes, as many as we could, and explained the importance of that. Most of them already know. But through the generosity of a number of tribes and other sponsors, we were able to complete the mission, and we knew that we were going to get it built. We knew before we even had the money that we were going to get it built. We didn't know how or when, but we knew it would get done. Finally, it got done, and then COVID came along, and we had to delay the opening for a couple of years. And, you know, today is that day. I want to thank the congressman and the U.S. Leadership that have been here today, the senators, the secretaries that have been here to come and talk to us, visit with us about their commitment. This is a beautiful day. The designer of this memorial, Harvey Pratt, a dear friend of mine and a dear friend of Indian country, super talented, super committed, a warrior himself. I also want to recognize the president of the National American Indian Veterans Association, Don Loudner. Some of you see, Don is a Korean War veteran, and he's a man that's been committed to helping veterans get the recognition that we need through Congress and other areas throughout the federal government for years. And I want to tell him how much I appreciate him and the warriors that he represents. When we talk about the warrior spirit is alive. You can see that here. Warrior spirit, that means that we help one another, we protect our people. We lift up those in need, and we care for this country. We love this country. We've served this country proudly through all of our conflicts. Going back to the Revolutionary War, we've served this country even before we were citizens. Today, I'm so honored and proud to be a part of this ceremony. I want to thank each one of you veterans from the bottom of my heart. I know that the future of the United States is in good hands as long as the Chickasaws and other warriors. Added to the Chickasaws in there, you know. Oh, Chunk, the Cherokees, all of you. As long as the Indian warriors come forward and step forward and honor America, we're in good hands. Thank you, and God bless you today.
This next gentleman is the one responsible for the making of the memorial. And I'm very fortunate that I get to introduce a very good dear friend of mine and a former neighbor just north of Oklahoma City, up on the by the Lazy E Arena, Harvey Pratt. He's a veteran as well. He served as a U.S. Marine in Air Rescue and Security. He was also inducted as Traditional Peace Chief, the Cheyenne Nation's highest honor. I'd like to please turn your attention to the monitor, the designer of the memorial, Harvey Pratt, the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes.
Good evening. My name is Harvey Pratt. I've served in the United States Marine Corps, 3rd Marine Corps Reconnaissance Battalion in Vietnam. I'm the designer of this memorial, and it's finally a pleasure and an honor to be here before you. I want to look at the heavens today. The Creator gave us a nice gentle rain to water Mother Earth and for us to start a new day with the rain. This memorial came about in a dream as I gathered all my life experiences as a Southern Cheyenne Peace Chief. We've created a path of life, a warrior circle of honor, lances with sacred colors on them and prayer cloths, the water, the air, the earth. And we'll light this fire in a minute. It's a wonderful day. I'm God the Creator created warriors. Without warriors, we may not be here. This memorial is about warriors of the past, warriors of today, and warriors of tomorrow. We know that if my grandfather came here, he would recognize these elements. And our warriors today recognize these elements. And my grandchildren's grandchildren will recognize these elements. This memorial was made for all ages. So with that, we're getting ready to, we hope that you will stand, if you're able to, when we light this memorial light now.
of those who have gone before us in service to the country. Please remain standing as we conclude with taps by Lauren Karpus, member of the Yakama Nation.
Thank you for joining us today. Recognize the service and sacrifices of Native American, Alaska Native, and Native Hawaiian veterans.
And it was a great honor to be with you today. Be well. Tota da go home.